It's a spy versus spy extravaganza filled with huge shootouts, hand-to-hand combat, car crashes, and shady government plots. The Russos' blast of big-budget summer action The Gray Man that is staged with the adrenalized flair and personality pits Ryan Gosling's CIA agent Sierra 6 against Chris Evans' sociopathic mercenary Lloyd Hansen in a globe-trotting battle of wheels. You won't be able to take in every element of the movie on your first viewing due to the abundance of automobile chases, explosions, and clever banter. Here are 10 things you may have missed from The Gray Man. Number 1. Carmichael didn't wash his hands. In a scene, Carmichael is using the remaining stall in the men's restroom when Susan Brewer storms in to complete their conversation. She inquires, "Why is it always the last stall?" To which a statement concerning Al Capone's ability to see everything while encased in a set of walls is given. Carmichael and the two argue over his decision to assign the sociopath Lloyd Hansen to deal with Sierra 6 as he leaves the stall. Throughout the conversation, Carmichael approaches the sink, but he doesn't actually wash his hands with water or soap. Number 2. Although 6 avoids inquiries, he is truthful. Sierra 4 explains to 6 the rationale behind his assignment to kill a member of his own before he passes away. He has evidence that some of the agency's top officials have been acting inappropriately. Danny Carmichael, the agency group chief, is one of those officials. He is a member of the new administration that essentially ousted the original Sierra program creators. While 4 is dying, he commands 6 to remove his necklace, which contains a flash drive that contains all the information he needs to overthrow the corrupt leadership. 6 verifies the target's elimination with Carmichael. Knowing what's on the flash drive has clearly upset Carmichael, who then begins questioning 6 about his interaction with the target. Number 3. There are callbacks between 6 and Claire. 6 accepts the responsibility of caring for Claire, and in the few time they spend together, they are able to develop a genuine bond. Double life-saving usually has such an effect. 6 receives the rock-on signal from Claire after he successfully takes her to the hospital while serving as her bodyguard. She responds, "Just another Thursday," when 6 asks how she is feeling after she has returned home safely. When someone breaks into the house shortly after that conversation, 6 has to go to work. When the would-be assassin is incapacitated, Claire exits her room and inquires as to 6's well-being. 6 is currently in a hand-to-hand battle with the intruder. "Another Thursday," he responds. In the movie, Lloyd kidnaps Claire, luring in 6, who advises Claire to go meet up with Miranda to keep her safe. He eventually lets her leave. 6 reassures Claire that this is just another Thursday when Claire is once again being taken captive by Carmichael and Brewer at the very end of The Gray Man. This dynamic continues. 6 breaks into the home. Number 4. Agent Miranda arrived quickly in Vienna from Berlin. To justify joining the CIA, there must be some benefits. Perhaps one of them is having the ability to jet off wherever at any time. Agent Miranda is accused of safeguarding 6 in Berlin early on in The Gray Man, despite the fact that she hardly knows him. Carmichael receives a text message informing him that 6 is in Vienna as he is removing her from field duty. Miranda sees the words in the mirror of his spectacles and devises a strategy because she is the skilled spy that she is. Miranda rescues the day by shooting 6 with a tranquilizer dart just as the assassin is going to be shot by Lloyd after blowing up an apartment, losing a shoe, and blowing up 6. Miranda is now in the red. Her travel credentials have undoubtedly been suspended, and she has been prevented from conducting fieldwork. In the big scheme of things, Berlin and Vienna are not that far apart, but it would still take at least a few hours to make it all happen. The only way Miranda's arrival at 6 location can be explained is if she just rolled out of Carmichael's office and onto a plane. The details of her trip itinerary are only one of the many unsolved questions in The Gray Man, but it's difficult to believe that she would arrive at the ideal location at the ideal moment. Number 5. Joe Russo makes a cameo. Joe Russo himself has appeared in a number of MCU movies in cameo roles. In The Gray Man, you can see him play the main superior speaking to Carmichael and the other members of the CIA in the last scene where they are getting the short end of the stick from their superiors. In the scene, Russo had a chance to demonstrate some of his acting prowess, and he did an excellent job of bringing Carmichael low. The appearance didn't seem forced or out of place, and some who noticed it found it to be a cute little Easter egg. In the follow-up movie, where Six's exploits are guaranteed to take an intriguing turn, perhaps Russo's character will make another brief appearance. Number 6. Six's Sisyphus tattoo. Despite including star power and action, the Gray Man also includes some entertaining and ingenious speech choices, which add a little more dimension to it. Six, in particular, was given some much-needed humanization when he brought up Sisyphus in a talk with Claire. The mythological figure Sisyphus, whose tale of dragging a boulder up a hill for all eternity certainly resonated with Six, is the subject of the name on his tattoo. Most people's daily lives are compared to Sisyphus, but the Sierras are particularly well suited for this metaphor. Number 7. The League of Legends appearance. League of Legends is the most popular esports in most of Asia, making it the ideal cameo game for when Six breaks into a gaming cafe to decrypt the chip 4 gave him. This is a fascinating choice in particular, because the champion Kindred is one of the more challenging ones to play in League. Fiddlesticks, the winner, refers to Kindred as the Gray Man, in one line of discussion. Whether or not the Russo brothers were aware of this when they decided to use League is debatable, but it does enhance the cameo. Number 8. The Shining reference. One of the scariest scenes in The Shining is the one in the Hedge Labyrinth. The famous maze was also employed in the climactic confrontation between Six and Lloyd in The Gray Man. Unfortunately, The Gray Man didn't employ the Hedge Labyrinth premise as skillfully as The Shining did. After all, the main battleground was the fountain in the middle of the maze. The reference was amusing and a decent gesture to Lloyd's failing mental health, even though they didn't get to use the actual maze as effectively as they could have. Number 9. The true antagonist was never shown to us. Danny Carmichael is the main antagonist, and Lloyd Hansen was the immediate danger that needed to be dealt with. But by the time the film was finished, the real adversary was still at large. The crimes were probably committed in shadow government territory, according to Margaret Cahill, who made it obvious that what was going on behind the scenes was above Carmichael's pay grade. Given that the Gray Man sequel is already in the works, it is very likely that the motivation behind Carmichael's actions will be made clear. Number 10. Six has the same pattern he employs as a distraction. One of the greatest one-liners in The Gray Man, "You a 42 regular," is reused in another scene. In a similar manner, Six also inquires once again about the attacker's shoe size. In the end, the joke obviously has Six donning the requested item of apparel in the very next scene. It acts as a diversion as well as an entertaining prelude to what comes next. Fans of The Gray Man should get used to the running joke, because it will probably be featured in upcoming episodes and other stuff. The directors of The Gray Man obviously put a lot of effort into the spy movie, and there are many wonderful things to learn about it. Easter eggs abound in The Gray Man, from mythological allusions to intriguing cameos. Hopefully, any upcoming sequels will provide even more entertaining details.